Hi, I'm Chris Gibbons. I'm going to be your instructor for the next 6 weeks for Principles of Accounting for Healthcare, HCA 330, as we delve into the exciting world of accounting. All right, well maybe it's not so exciting, but what I hope to do with this course is to show how it's relevant to your career. Now, some of you might find accounting exciting. About 5 to 10% of people find accounting exciting. But again, the purpose here is to extract the elements of this course and relate them back to what's really important to what you're going to need as a manager and a leader within healthcare. All right, so what I like to do in this video, we'll go over some of the foundations of the course, kind of look at the roadmap and plot out how we're going to be looking at this topic over the next 6 weeks. Before we do that, quick bio on myself. Again, my name is Chris Gibbons. I'm also the director for the Healthcare Administration program and for our allied health certificates here at the college. And we have about 7 different programs in my area, all spanning various aspects of allied health professions. So, kind of a very exciting area to be in. Now, a little bit about my background is I do have 14 years experience within banking and finance, having been an assistant vice president for Fifth Third Bank, but I also have a frontline practitioner experience within healthcare. I have a medical imaging background, which for those of you that don't know what that means, it's like an x-ray. So I can do x-ray, also something called CT or computed tomography. So I have certifications, of course, in both of those. So I've kind of been there, done that on the front lines of healthcare as well. All right, a little bit about the bio. So, next, let's take a look at the syllabus. That will really be our roadmap for this course. It's a nice resource to have as you go through the course. As many of you know, the key to success in all of this online coursework is one thing, and what is it? Yes, it's time management. Very cliched, but really planning that out with your very busy days and your family obligations that you may have, social obligations, work obligations, and you're putting school on top of that. So, really mapping out how you're going to put all those pieces together is essential for success in all of our courses. And the syllabus is a great tool to help you map that out because you can see when the due dates are far ahead all the way to the end of the course and kind of put in the little building blocks as you kind of make your total plan to success for this course. So, if you haven't done so already, please pause the video and print that syllabus out. It's only about 9 pages, I think. Last printing, I think we're at 9 pages. So, pause the video, print that out, put a staple in it, and then come back and we'll walk through the syllabus really quickly. All right, hopefully you've come back, you've got that syllabus in hand, and let's go ahead and take a look at some of the key elements within there. Of course, I'm not going to read the entire thing to you. I'm just going to draw your attention to some of the areas that I think are really essential. First one, contact information. How do you get a hold of your instructor? Well, you have my cell phone number here, you have my office number here, you have my email. Best way to get a hold of me, though, is through text message. Now, you have my cell phone number there, so if you feel comfortable with that, please text me. You're going to usually get an answer back within minutes versus hours or days. Now, there's going to be times where I won't be able to get to it. I'm driving, I'm sleeping, I'm with the kids, whatnot. But you will be front and center with the cell phone, with the text message. So I encourage you to text me if you have a question, especially those short order questions that I can get back to relatively quickly. Now, let's say if you have a long form question, really detailed, that one you may want to save for email. Again, you're looking at a response rates of up to maybe 24 hours, especially if it's on the weekends, might be longer, okay? Because I am kind of off grid a little bit on the weekends. I do try to check in, but you're going to get much faster response time Monday through Friday. But I have a heavy travel schedule on the weekends, so I'm usually on the road to various parts of Ohio, and I'll save you all the details on that. But the weekends are somewhat off grid for me. So, except for cell phone, that one I can get to you a lot quicker on the weekends. So, number one method to get a hold of me, cell phone. Number two, if you have especially a long, detailed, or maybe something confidential or private that you need to discuss, or that you want to capture, in more permanent format than text message, then number two is going to be email. Now, we can always talk over the phone. You can always call me whenever you want, give it a shot. But I'm running around this campus all the time, meetings and other obligations, and you may or may not catch me. So you feel free to do that, but probably the most efficient use of your time would be to let's schedule a time, and then I can clear the calendar to have that conversation with you on the phone. So that's probably the best way to utilize the phone time with us is to send me a couple of times that you're available. I'll clear the calendar for one of those times, and we can have that conversation if necessary over the phone. All right, so there's the three methods to get a hold of me. Preferred method is text message because I can get back to you a lot quicker. All right. Of course, we have the ad drop dates in here, and hopefully no one will want to drop this course. It's, fantastic, right? But if for some reason you have to drop the course, be aware of the drop dates in here. As far as refunds and whatnot, or any impact to your grade. If you have any questions about dropping a course, I would say you probably want to check with your academic advisor before doing that. Next, our course does have one required text, and that's this guy right here. Okay, the Gopinski text. He's actually just passed away last year, so there'll be his co-author is taking over. This is the Bible. This is kind of considered the Bible for healthcare finance in programs across the country. Now, the textbook is very detailed. It's very dense. A lot of material packed in very, very tight. Don't let that overwhelm you. Okay, just do your best with the material. We Most students I've asked who have been successful, they usually do they do one read on the material and then they'll do a second read maybe in areas that were a little bit more confusing. So usually a couple of reads and they're absolutely just fine. Some people do just as well with one read on the material. So, but don't let the textbook kind of blow you away. Try to get as much as you can in there. This course, again, the textbook's gonna have a lot of detail. What this course is going to focus on is essentially two different things, and that is what we call financial accounting and managerial accounting. The financial accounting is all of the accounting that probably we're familiar with as public people and things that we hear on TV and radio and on the internet. That's the kind of accounting that the public sees, that organizations produce for that public viewing, which may be required because maybe they're a publicly traded company, or even some nonprofits are required to publish certain information. Investors want to know certain information about the company. Creditors, banks who want to lend to companies need certain information about that company to make sure that they're a good company and they're solvent. And that is the realm of financial accounting, kind of that public facing of accounting. Then there's a type of accounting that happens behind the scenes, and that's managerial accounting. And it's not necessarily that the public doesn't need to know all the minutia behind some of that stuff. Now, with managerial, a lot of that information will flow into the financial accounting that the public sees. So it's not like it's hidden or anybody's trying to cook the books. You may have heard that. No, I guess it's a more granular level detail of accounting. And that ultimately will be reflected in those public-facing accounting. So we got financial accounting and managerial accounting. I think you know what those are. Okay, we've just met a course objective right now. So remember, financial, public-facing, managerial, stuff that managers are going to use. Probably the stuff that's going to be more relevant for your career is the managerial side, quite frankly. The budgeting and whatnot, all those processes are really what a manager is going to use. But the public stuff that you see, the financial accounting is also something to be very, very aware of. All right. So with the textbook, again, we're looking for concepts. I'm not trying to make you accountants or bookkeepers. So do the best you can with the material. This course covers what easily could be covered within a bachelor's or master's degree. So we are just taking a sample of these accounting worlds, which I think is good for most managers. Unless you're going to be in some very, very detailed area within accounting, this level of knowledge will serve you could serve you throughout your entire career. You may not need any additional accounting courses like ever. So, but know that we're packing a lot of stuff into this course. All right, and that's the book. Now, this book, the first half of the book is accounting, and the second half of the book is finance. So we're going to go through half of this book, chapters 1 through 8. Yeah, chapters 1 through 8. Had to look at my notes here. So chapters 1 through 8 are going to be this course, which is pretty much smack dab right in the middle. We're going to cover half of that textbook. For those of you that are continuing on with me in finance for the second 6 weeks of the summer, keep the book. Keep the book. We use the book for both classes. Okay, so we try to save students money with a one book purchase or a one book rent for both courses. All right, so that goes over that. We won't be doing any video presentations in this course, so don't worry about having a camera or doing something like this. All right, grades. So this is important. This is basically all the meat and potatoes of what we're doing. We're going to have learning activities every week, aka homework, basically homework. Uh, the Really kind of giving you a time to practice some of these concepts that we'll be learning through the videos and through the reading. I'm looking really for a good faith attempt. Are you making an attempt to apply the theories and operational procedures that we're learning in the class into learning activities? If you do that, you're going to do great on the learning activities. If you're just mailing it in, not showing your work, or well, we know what it means by mailing it in. So yeah, you're gonna get docked on points. So just put a good faith effort into learning activities. I'm not looking for correct answers. It's not like, oh my gosh, I have to get the absolute correct answer. Now, I will reserve a few extra points for those people that get the correct answer, but you can still get a very satisfactory grade, even though you might be totally off in your answer. Uh, so keep that in mind. I know there's a lot of people that are sort of math phobic, and because accounting obviously has numbers, it's kind of math oriented. Again, not making you bookkeepers or accountants. I just want to get you some practice and some um, not get your hands dirty a little bit with the accounting pieces, so that you know how some of these things are produced, how you get the numbers. As a manager, as a leader, you're not crunching the numbers. The numbers are going to be provided to you typically. You need to know how those numbers are derived. So that's the important essence here. All right, so that's learning activities, homework. Do your best, and you'll do well. Module quizzes, standard module quizzes, good checkpoints all the way through. We will not have quizzes on the times that we have midterms and finals. Progress journal. That's something I like to do. Just take the temperature to see how you're doing in the course. So I'll be checking in with you on those progress journals. It's just, again, a nice way for us to communicate, see how you're doing, see how I'm doing. I have found out a lot of times that, hey, what I think is going great in the course, and I've got half the course telling me it's not going so well, has allowed me to correct the course, midstream. So it's very important both ways, communication. So I love that. Case studies. We're going to be dabbling around in some case studies. Okay, so again, getting your hands dirty. Don't freak out. Just do your best. Apply some of the theories and concepts to the case studies, and you'll be just fine. The case studies, they can be as deep as you want. I mean, some people, they could be anywhere from a baccalaureate to a master's degree on these case studies. I don't expect you to extract every little piece of correct information out of these case studies. Some of the information you have not been exposed to. That's okay. But some of the low-hanging fruit that you probably should know that we've already talked about in the course, and it's kind of front and center in the case study, I'm going to be looking for on the case studies. Don't worry, I'll give you some more guidance on what those should look like as we get closer to those. But they're fun. I like case studies. They kind of get to play CEO or CFO for a while, and that's kind of cool. And we have a midterm exam, nice checkpoint on there. Students usually do really well on the midterm and the final. Again, kind of just bringing the information back that as long as you were reading, watching the videos, doing your learning activities, you're going to do really, really well on that. So we got the midterm and the final. This course is based on 1,000 points, so it's easy to calculate what your grade is pretty much at any one time. All right, so that covers that, and then I do have a little bit more detailed explanation of what these things are, but we just went over that. Okay, so those are the essentials for the syllabus. Now, before we close out here on this welcome video, remember I've said it a few times throughout the video that this is a 6-week course. For those of you that this may be your first summer at Mercy College, maybe the first summer. Well, typically, people don't take this class in their first semester at the program. But this might be your first summer here at Mercy College. Maybe you started in the fall or the spring. And what catches people off guard if they don't look at the schedule is that, or notice it in the schedule, is that summers are only 12 weeks long. Our summer semester is only 12 weeks long. Our fall and spring are 16 weeks. So most of you are used to that 8-week format for courses. This course is only 6 weeks long, but we still got the same amount of material that we're going to be squeezing into 6 weeks. We have tried 8-week classes over the summer, and overwhelmingly, students hated them. So, um, good thing I had those progress journals because I wanted to see how they were doing with that 8-week format. But students didn't like the 6-week format, and they sure as heck didn't like the 8-week format because that caused a massive overlap in courses. When you have 4 weeks overlapping and running two courses at a time, very difficult. So we have gone back to the 6-week format where you do not have overlapping courses in the most part. Um, so we divide the semester into a kind of a part one and part two, and this is obviously in the part one section of the semester, but we only have 6 weeks. Now, I have changed the flavor, some things in this course from our 8-week version to keep everybody sane throughout the 6 weeks. So and still meet the learning objectives. So I'm taking a very editorial tone on some of these things and like what do we absolutely need. I'm kind of keeping those. And if there's something that maybe can go away, I am moving that out. Now, there might be some additional changes to the syllabus as I maybe look at something and go, hey, we can maybe get rid of that as well. To lighten the load a little bit from the busy work so you can focus more on those learning activities, the reading, and perhaps the case studies as well. So stay tuned on that. I don't think there's going to be too many changes with the syllabus. I really don't anticipate any, but I'm going to be looking at that because I'm very, very aware of all that you have on your plate with work, life, family, and then squeezing school on top of it. And if we can get there, I guess, as efficiently as possible, that's what I want to do. Get there as efficiently as possible. Um, so be careful this summer with how fast the course goes. Try not to get behind if something should happen. Let's say there's and something happens, to students. Again, we're all very, very busy. If you get sick or you have a sick child or something at work happens, and you do need some extension on due dates, just communicate with me. Let me know. More than happy to work with you on those areas. My objective is to get you through this course, have you be successful, and success is meeting those learning objectives. How we get to those objectives is kind of where we'll navigate that together. So if there is again something that comes up, feel free to reach out to me. Again, willing to try to get to the best solution possible to get to that end goal for you with this course. All right, that concludes the welcome video. I hope everybody has a great summer. Again, I know accounting can be kind of a dry and boring subject, but hopefully you can see by the end of this course that it is very relevant to the lifeblood of any organization. May not be exciting, but it's what keeps the doors open. It's the language of business. It's the fundamental way that we diagnose the patient, and the patient being the organization. The part two, the finance, is more the interesting area. That's kind of the treatment plan. So once you diagnose, then you can treat, then you can react to that accounting information. That's what finance is basically the reaction to the information produced. But we need to understand where that foundation of the information is coming from. We need to understand that language, and that's what this course is about. All right, so I hope everybody has a great summer, and as always, thanks for watching.